Many dog owners have experienced a strange moment with their dog that feels almost deliberate. Your dog suddenly becomes quiet, watches you carefully, and seems to be studying every small thing you do. Most people assume the dog is simply being curious, but in canine psychology, something much deeper may be happening. Dogs constantly observe the humans they live with, far more than most people realize. Long before a dog reacts to anything in the environment, it quietly evaluates patterns, emotions, and consistency in the people around it. This silent observation is part of how dogs determine who they trust, who they follow, and how safe the environment really is. Sometimes this observation becomes more focused. A dog may suddenly watch you more closely than usual, as if waiting for something. This moment often marks the beginning of what canine behavior experts describe as a subtle psychological evaluation. Dogs do not test humans in the way people test each other. Instead, they notice small changes in behavior, tone, movement, and emotional energy. These signals help the dog understand whether the person they depend on is calm, predictable, and safe. Imagine arriving home after a stressful day. You move differently, speak differently, and your body language carries tension that wasn't there before. Your dog may immediately notice these subtle shifts, even though you might not realize you are displaying them. When this happens, many dogs become quiet observers. They may sit nearby, watch carefully, and follow your movements more closely than usual. This is not random curiosity. It is information gathering. Dogs evolved alongside humans for thousands of years, which means their survival has depended heavily on interpreting human behavior correctly. A dog that can read its owner accurately can respond faster to danger, conflict, or emotional changes in the environment. Because of this, dogs develop extremely refined observation skills. During what appears to be a silent test, a dog is not challenging its owner. Instead, the dog is confirming something important about the person it relies on. The dog is determining whether the human still represents stability and leadership. Dogs value predictability more than almost anything else in their social environment. When routines, emotions, or reactions change suddenly, a dog instinctively pays closer attention. The observation helps the dog understand whether the situation is temporary or part of a new pattern. This is why some dogs become more attentive during stressful periods in their owner's life. They may watch more carefully, stay closer than usual, or quietly track their owner's movements around the house. To the dog, these behaviors help restore understanding of the social environment. Interestingly, this silent observation often disappears once the dog feels confident again. When the dog sees familiar routines, stable emotions, and predictable responses return, the intense watching fades. The dog has gathered enough information to feel secure again. Many owners misinterpret these moments. They assume the dog is being needy, anxious, or simply curious about what the owner is doing. But from the dog's perspective, the behavior is part of a much deeper psychological process. Dogs build trust through patterns. When a person consistently behaves in calm and predictable ways, the dog learns that the environment is stable. Over time, this stability forms the foundation of the bond between dog and owner. But when patterns temporarily shift, the dog pays attention. It watches, listens, and evaluates until the situation makes sense again. This quiet observation is one of the reasons dogs are so deeply connected to human behavior. Understanding this subtle psychological process can change how people see their dogs. Instead of viewing these moments as random behavior, they can be understood as signs of awareness and intelligence. Dogs are constantly interpreting the world around them, especially the humans they live with. The next time your dog sits quietly watching you, the moment might feel different. It may not simply be curiosity or boredom. It may be your dog quietly making sense of the person they trust most. One of the most interesting parts of this silent observation is how quickly dogs adjust once they understand the situation again. When routines stabilize and emotional signals return to normal, the dog's intense watching often fades just as quietly as it appeared. The dog has gathered enough information to feel confident about the environment again. This ability to interpret human behavior is one of the reasons dogs bond so deeply with the people they live with. Dogs are constantly learning how their owners react to stress, excitement, uncertainty, and calm moments. Over time, these observations form a detailed psychological map of the human household. Because of this, Dogs often understand their owner's emotional states long before those emotions are spoken aloud. Small changes in posture, breathing, tone, or movement can tell a dog that something in the environment has shifted. What looks like simple staring may actually be a dog quietly making sense of the world around it.